Today we're going to do a replay analysis for what I believe is a 3K average rated game. We'll be reviewing the Monkey King today, who looks like he's going to be playing the Roamer. Now, first off, as with all the analysis, we'll go ahead and tackle the item build. Now, as with most item builds, you want to make the most of your starting gold. And here you used all but 160 of it, which I'm not really a fan of. Like right now, you could have bought a salve and a branch, and you would have a lot more regen along with a bit of stats to go with that. I know that you probably were saving to go for a fast boot starts, but the problem with that is because Monkey King has the Primal Spring, you don't really need boots as much as other heroes would, since you already have that added initiation ability. And plus, he's a little bit faster than normal, and he also has a higher attack range than other melee heroes. So, not having boots for a while really doesn't hurt him as much as you would think it does. So one thing you could do is, that I like to do personally, is you could get Tango's orb and a stout shield. And the reason you would get a stout shield is because as a melee roamer, sometimes you can run into a lot of aggro from the creep wave whenever you jump onto the enemy. And because you have 0 armor, having a stout shield is really effective and makes your regen go a lot farther and can save your life in a lot of cases. That being said, you definitely don't need to have a stout shield, it's just helpful. If you want to go for stats or more regeneration, that's perfectly fine as well. And let's go ahead and see what you do at the beginning of the game here. Let's forward. Okay. Let's check the vision real quick. Dire. Okay. So here's the big problem here. You just walked right into the Dire's vision range to place the sword. I think you're gonna place it here. Yeah. You place it now, and then you leave. So the thing is, I know this is only a 3K game, so they might not be paying attention, but people will watch you place wards as you go higher. And at the start of the game, you definitely do not want to walk into vision just to place a ward, because they will see that, check your inventory immediately, and see that you've placed it and de-ward you. And especially because de-warding has become so common now, because there's literally no downside. You get the entire cost refunded. You really need to be careful about where you place your wards, especially if you're in the enemy vision during that time. Like, if you were placing it here, you could have stood right here outside the vision range of the Dire tier tower and placed it here, and they would never even know. But you just went too far, and there's a chance that they may have seen it.
30 seconds to battle.
Again, you can make an argument about how maybe your opponents aren't good enough to see that and de-ward it, but the safe play there is literally costing you 0 opportunity, so there's no reason not to play it the best way. Skip ahead a little bit.
The battle begins.
Golden Blade.
Okay, so here's one thing that I really dislike here. So you put your first point into Jingu Mastery, and that's kind of a huge mistake for a bunch of reasons. I'm going to go through them real quick. So as Monkey King, as a roamer, your sole form of actually jumping onto people and ganking is your tree dance into Primal Spring. And if you don't have that available at level 1, that means that you can't gank mid ever unless you have the other support with you. And ganking the off lane, their off lane is going to be pretty difficult. Again, because you just don't have the method to initiate at level 1. And with the recent patch, the early levels have been nerfed so that you need more experience to reach. So for example, you used to only need 200 experience to reach level 1, but now you need 240. And what that means for you is that it's going to take even longer for you to get to level 2 and to get your tree dance. That's why you need to start with tree dance at level 1 in almost every single scenario. Like, I mean, I know you're gonna smack the Weaver as soon as he comes into the lane. You might hit him 4 times in a row and get a Jingu Mastery stack, but even if that does happen, you're still gimped for the rest of the laning phase until you get your level 2, which may not happen for some time. Okay, and you start hitting the Weaver immediately. Now, it's not really bad that you did that, but again, although you have the Jingu Mastery, it only lasts for a certain amount of time, and Weaver doesn't even necessarily have to come into your attack range. You can just let it wear off. And here's the other issue, because you took the Jingu Mastery, now you can't gank mid for a while. You can look at their mid, you can see that they have a Medusa. Medusa is quite weak in the mid lane. She only has 3 armor, she's really slow, and she can't really do anything to you if you gank her. So again, you're really missing out on that opportunity. And see, now because you're sitting here safely and you're just harassing the Weaver. And again, like I mentioned earlier, you have 0 base armor. So that means that if you ever attack him in the middle of the creep wave, his creeps are going to attack you, and then you're just going to take full damage from them. And that's going to deal lots of damage to you. And because you only start out with 1 set of tangos, now you're going to be severely gimped and have to go to Shrine early or go to base. And now, I can tell you right now, you're following the Weaver into his jungle, and this is a really bad idea, because Weaver, he's level 2, so he's gonna have Geminate attack, and he also has 66 damage. He started with a Wraith Band, which means that he has 66 times 2, so that's 132 damage right off the bat on your literally 0 armor, so you're taking the full damage from that. And 130 damage is literally more than a quarter of your health right now. So there's no reason to follow him into the jungle here. Like, I know you wanted to get the Jingu stacks on him and hopefully kill him, harass him out. Again, the issue with this is you're just taking an unnecessary risk. And like, you definitely came close there, but maybe if you had juked better, you would have killed him. But you just really have to take a look at your opponents and their items and realize what they're capable of. Monkey King is very susceptible to physical damage early on. So you have to be mindful of enemies that have high base damage, like Weaver. Especially because he has Geminate attack, which makes him doubly threatening. And let's take a look at what's happening in the game now. It's currently 3.5 minutes into the game. You are still level 1. Your Weaver on the enemy team is level 2. And let's see what's happened in the map in the meantime. Your Sand King has died twice in the offlane and you've died once. Not a very good start to the game. Like, if you had gone Tree Dance level 1, you could have ganked mid already. And maybe you wouldn't have killed the Medusa, but you could have at least secured your TA a good advantage in lane.
Show me how to do that light trick, Essalor.
Dire's middle tower
right
is
now,
under attack.
is an issue I've seen with a lot of supports and roamers in this bracket, is that you're not really doing anything at the moment. Like, I'll give you a list of things you could have done prior to now. You could have been... one thing you could have done is you could have gone through the enemy jungle with the Tree Dance and looked for a chance to snipe the courier. You could have ganked mid with your Primal Spring. Like, there's just so much you could have done. And they have a Centaur who I bet is jungling. It's just cool. There. Good jungling.
Haste.
I'm gonna try to CPs. Been jungling or if he's just been supporting. No, maybe he hasn't been jungling.
Dire's middle tower.
I suppose he has been supporting since then, but still, you could have done other things other than just die. Give away a bunch of gold. The thing about Monkey King is that you really don't want to have a bad early game, because although he snowballs pretty well, if you get behind in the early game, it's very hard for you to come back.
Money changes hands.
Okay, so if you finally have your level 2 and you're ganking mid. You're a little kind of low health. Okay, at least you chase to get the Jingo off. I'm gonna see real quick on that maybe a little bit better. You could have maybe positioned it right over here. You still would not have killed him, so, but close.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Damn it.
Yeah, and what you should have done right there is after you saw the Weaver chasing, after you should have just jumped to the next tree. So you see he's behind you. You heard him using his invis. So I think you had time. Sure. Yeah, as soon as you reached here, you could have jumped on this tree here and you'd be
Dire's
perfectly
bottom
safe.
tower is under attack.
Damn it.
Well, maybe not perfectly, but you would have been definitely safe. You would have had like a
Dire's middle
99%
tower
chance
is
to
under
survive
attack.
right there. It's safe to say.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
A golden thread.
Impossible.
At least you got the kill though. I would say that's probably worth it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Double damage.
What exactly you're doing right now? Banking mid? I would say definitely not. Let's look at how you do things. Okay. So the lane is currently being pushed out, and that means that Medusa's probably going to back off once these creeps go towards the tower. As soon as these creeps on the radiant here die, she has no reason to be over here anymore. She's probably going to be moving back to secure a rune, or maybe go to a jungle camp and stack it or something. And more importantly, your positioning here was kind of bad. So I know you wanted to use Primal Spring on her right here, but the problem is you have to... Part of learning Monkey King is learning which trees are good for ganking middle. And this batch of trees right here is good if the wave is like right in the middle or right in front of your part of the river right here. But if you wanted to gank her while she was over here, you can't reach her from this side. You have to go all the way over here on this side, on the Dire side. So what you could have done is you could have jumped on here and then over here and then used Primal Spring here. And maybe you were a little afraid of the enemies having vision before because of the Weaver. But if that's the case, you could jump this way. You could jump this tree, or you could even start all the way over here. Yeah, well, this was just too late. Oh, you're gonna die again from the Weaver, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. Fuck you. You know, instead of walking all the way back to base here, what you could have just done is use one of the shrines outside the base. They heal you a lot faster. This early into the game, it'll give you the full health and mana.
Finders, keepers.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, we used the shrine there, so it wasn't so bad. But yeah, in the early game, you can just use the shrines at your base to get health and mana back extremely quickly. I mean, it doesn't really cost you anything because your enemy is unlikely to be pushing high ground early anyways.
Those gates swing wide. Go now boldly into the light.
It's just a bad decision, I think. You should have just done it this way, because there's no way he's running all the way down
Dire's
here.
bottom tower is under
There was
attack.
only one way for him to escape.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
What's the opposite of regicide?
Dire's bottom tower
need to
is
jump.
under attack.
I'll take your tribute.
Dire's middle
And he
tower
puts
is under
the door
attack.
here a little too close to the tower. He didn't know the
Your fate is mine.
get a ward there. But he just got lucky. Anyways, the true sight ranges on the towers are actually equal to the attack range. So if you hold Alt, you can see the attack range of the towers. So as long as you don't put it in the attack range, the tower won't see it. In case you want to be really sure, putting a ward really close to the tower, you want to put it right outside the true sight vision. That's why I always just hold the Alt button if I do so, just to make sure.
Missing middle.
My bones paved the long road.
Nice try.
Could have attacked that guy there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
For you.
And I'm assuming you're going to be running back to base. Okay, one thing you can do is, I don't think you had to run back to base here. You could have just brought yourself a salve from the base. Or maybe even asked your TA to use a shrine right here. And also, if you are going back to base, if you are forced to go back to base ever, one thing you can do is you can use Tree Dance and then immediately use Primal Spring to jump towards your base. And because you can use, even though you can't use Tree Dance again immediately after you use it, you can immediately jump using the Primal Spring, and that helps you cover a bunch of ground in a short period of time. Definitely
Radiant's
useful if you need to
top
get somewhere
tower is
quickly and you
under
don't foresee yourself needing to use
Radiant
the ability
structures are fortified.
in a short period of time. And there's one thing I don't like about your skill build here. So before I started the game, I took a quick look at your skill build that you did, and I saw that you maxed the Jingu Mastery first. But here's the problem with maxing the Jingu Mastery first. So if you take a look at their team, you'll see that they have a Weaver, a Lion, a Centaur, etc. Now, the Weaver and the Lion, they are really susceptible to your Boundless Strike. Because not only are they pretty fragile, but they're also really weak to disables. And Boundless Strike is a really good stun when you have it leveled up more. Like, half a second isn't very good for duration, but once you get it maxed out, it has a full 2 seconds, and it has a really long range to it as well. So I would say in most games, it's a lot safer to max out your stun first. And especially in games where you're really behind like this, like it's 10 minutes and you're only level 4. And right now, in an optimal Monkey King game, you would be level 5 or even level 6.
Changes hands.
Missing middle.
You may have actually killed him there if you had... I know you might not have killed him if you had more levels in your Boundless Strike, hard to say. Well, the other thing is, Boundless Strike is just reliable, while your Jingu Mastery really is not. And I bet you're going to die here. Okay, you got lucky. They just decided to leave. You don't have your Jingu Mastery, so I'd be careful. Oh, you're kind of just wasting time here at the moment.
Conceal yourself.
There's no reason to hang out here anymore. You have no more health and no more mana. Like, as soon as you went back up here and the troll went into the trees, you could just exit out via the trees via that way. You just kind of wasted 30 more seconds just hiding up back there for a while. And I have a feeling you're gonna die here because, again, you really don't have any health or mana. Like, I know the Keeper can give you mana, but he can't give you health. Without health, you're just gonna die against the Lion or the Centaur. Like, again, you're just wasting time here. You're still level 4. It's 12 minutes in, and you're not doing anything with your time. You're just kind of jumping around in the off lane. Not even the least you could do is like be the creep wave. At least then you would get some experience. While you're waiting, but now when you finally just get back to this.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Again, you only have one point in your stun, and you're only level 4, so stunning people from that long of range is not going to do anything when you are this low level, this long into the game, and you're not maxing out your stun first. Like, that's just kind of wasting your mana and your cooldowns. Again, you're not really doing anything with your time. And I haven't watched any of your other matches yet, but I would be willing to bet that it may be a contributor to why you have these losing streaks. Because you're not just inefficient with your time, but you're also just, like, I don't know how to put this, but it's not just that you're inefficient, but it's almost like you're negative efficient, if that makes
Radiant's
sense.
middle tower
Like when you're just sitting around doing nothing, you're just sitting in the trees. Yeah, I like you got the kill there, that was clean.
I'll take your tribute. Unlucky find.
Let's see what you're doing now. You're gonna walk back to base. I don't think you should have done that. You could have just, I know you're partied with the Keeper, so you could have just walked all the way bottom and asked him for some mana. And then that would basically give you full mana.
The light.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I was defeated by them?
I know why you used it there, but I think
Radiant's
now I see.
Invisibility.
Okay, you didn't drop the sentry. You should have dropped the sentry. And then I think you may have killed him. That's done.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Invisibility.
Okay, one monkey hits him. Or 2 monkeys hit him. Okay, this one didn't. This one did.
I was defeated by them?
I think this one also would have attacked him here. So if you had put the sentry down there, you may have actually killed him. Or at least come extremely close. But another problem there was, let's see exactly what happened. Can you, okay. So, you see that they're going on him. I guess you didn't see that Weaver was down here. I think the problem is by this point you were too committed. Like, the Lion still had his Earth Spike, so you kind of just had to go on and attempt to kill him. I think. I don't think that allowing him to get away here was the right plan. Like, not that you should have gone in the first place, but you're gonna die anyways. You might as
Radiant's
well try
bottom
to kill him.
tower is under attack.
I was defeated by them?
Now, speaking of that, I want to see real quick if you could have not engaged. Maybe. That would have been an option. Okay. So you see the Lion here. You TP in, the Weaver pops in. Okay. You already know the Weaver's here. And you haven't seen the Lion use, or actually did use their stick. Huh. In any case, you jump on the tree here. You go after a Lion. And again, I think this was a mistake, because the Weaver's already level 9. And he doesn't have great farm, but it's okay. And like, the Weaver himself can definitely kill you alone. Like, he doesn't even need Lion's help, honestly.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, I don't even has 1 point in his Earth Spike. That barely even mattered there, honestly. Yeah, so as soon as you saw the Weaver there as well, you should have just not even engaged there.
Radiant's
wasn't worth
bottom
it.
tower is under attack.
Money changes hands.
Okay, let's see what happens next real quick.
Mere coin?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It can't be.
Oh yeah, that's... No, he had Blink there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, so if you look right now, you can see that there are 3 heroes mid. If you look at your minimap, you can see that there's a Medusa, Weaver, and the Centaur. One thing you need to do against heroes like Centaur is you need to be checking their inventory at all opportunities. In fact, I'm gonna look at here at your perspective, and let's see. Okay, you didn't even put your camera forward here. I don't even know if you even looked at your minimap. It looks like you didn't even look at your minimap here, so you didn't even see him there. You could have just scrolled your camera a little further, and then click on him and saw that he had Blink. And if you know that if he has Blink there, then you just immediately die.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And I think that would just tie into the issue of not respecting your opponents and recognizing when their power spikes are. Like how you died to Weaver at the beginning of the game. Like, you didn't respect his level 2 power. He
Dire's
has the
middle
Germinate
tower
attack.
is under attack.
And the fact that you were still level 1 and only had your Jingu
Dire's
Mastery.
structures
You
are
didn't respect his power, especially in relation to your Zero Armor. And right there, you didn't respect the Centaur because you didn't look at the map. And if you did look at the map, you didn't check his
Dire's middle
items.
tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I think you should have gotten a wand this
Radiant's
game.
middle tower has been
You're
denied.
against a Weaver who tends to use spells often, Lion who kind of uses spells often. I mean, wand is such a good item on roamers like Monkey King because you want to make sure that you have ways to regain your health and mana in fights, because your maximum mana is a little bit low. Like, you can use 4 of your spells because they all have 100 costs early. So you can use about 4 of them right now. But if you use any more, you're going to run out of mana. That's why I really like getting a wand on him. Yeah, and if the funny thing is, if you had the maxed Boundless Strike there, you probably would have killed him. Because, like, here's the thing. Max Jingu Mastery, it actually doesn't even matter until you actually land 4 strikes on them. And the thing is, Boundless Strike, the upgrade, you will always do more stun and deal more damage. Unlike with the Jingu Mastery. That's why people are switching over to maxing the stun first. Because it's just more reliable. It's always going to have an outcome on your ganks and such. Especially when Jingu Mastery already has really good damage at just the first level at giving you 75 bonus damage. And it only increases by 25 per level. Which isn't bad, but it's just not good enough to justify maxing it first. Boundless Strike. Okay, you TP? Your top oh boy. That's not good. Let's see what happened. I'm assuming you didn't know they were there. Okay, and so you teleported, you tunnel visioned onto the troll. You didn't see the other 3 heroes sitting right here next to you, which might be bigger targets than just this guy. Like, you immediately stun him. That's nice, but you're only stunning 1 person. Oh, you didn't even land it. Oh, that's... Yeah, you could have just saved your strike here to land it on 2 of the heroes, or maybe even 3. That may have even turned the fight for you a little bit. Now you're just gonna die again. Like, let's be realistic here. It's 20 minutes in the game almost, and you've died 8 times, and the vast majority of those are mistakes which you could have easily avoided. Because you were either positioning incorrectly, or you were just underestimating your opponents, or overestimating your own strengths. And I didn't really go over this, but there were probably a couple deaths, at least 1 or 2, where a more points in the Boundless Strike would have saved you over the Jingu Mastery. Because again, the Jingu Mastery, it doesn't do shit for you in 4 times. Boundless Strike, you can use it to surprise people, you can use it to get away, etc. It just has so many more uses. And you're going for the Basher first, which I like. Gives you a lot of power in your ultimate. And I think I'm going to go ahead and close out this video for now. I will go ahead and go over your talent choices real quick, and your item choices for later in the game. Okay, so you maxed your Boundless Strike second, which, I mean, again, it's suboptimal to maxing it first, but, you know, it's better than leaving it to last. Talent choices of 5 armor or the attack speed. I like the armor here, just because you're so far behind against a troll and a weaver. They have so much damage on you. Got the 275 health and 8 magic resist. Yeah, I think you could have gotten, for the level 15 talent, I think you could have gotten the Jingu Mastery damage. And the reason is because the Jingu Mastery damage sort of increases your durability, because it'll increase the amount of lifesteal you get, sort of, because you're dealing more damage. You're recovering more damage, especially when you use your Boundless Strike in coordination with it. So I think that may have been a little better there, but again, the 275 health isn't bad if you're far behind. I don't think I would have gotten the magic resistance this game, though. Because the damage is actually really good. But, yeah, to summarize, you died 8 times at 20 minutes, which is really excessive. Like I said, so many of those were just preventable and didn't have to happen. And your other problem is you did nothing for a good portion of this game. You just sat in the trees, or you just sat bottom trying to zone the Weaver but kind of not doing great at it. So I think you could do a lot better from looking up high-skilled Monkey King players on Dota Buff and then watching their replays to see what they do in the early game. Because I know a problem with roamers and supports at that skill level is that they don't exactly know what they're supposed to be doing in the early game. And I kind of understand that. I've been there too before. But if you watch higher skilled players and what they do in the first like 10 minutes of the game, it'll give you a much better idea of what you should be doing. I know their games aren't necessarily going to be comparable to yours, but it's definitely better than just sitting back and doing nothing. Like I mentioned earlier, you could have been ganking lanes, or you could have been burying out regeneration to yourself instead of running back to base constantly. But if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to clarify if that was not clear enough on.